thing as the soul conductor, and then we realized when 1.19 came out, oh, this would then fit perfect with the Skulk. All right, let's see. Let's go with, what's your opinion on maintaining feature consistency? If I were to add Enderite, would it be made in the same way as Netherite, or would I be comfortable in using a more unique system? So Enderite's an interesting one in that I don't think I would add Enderite at all at this point, because the end is just missing so much. And I feel like adding an ore to an empty dimension would be missing the potential the dimension has. But I'll actually ask about the actual question, because it's more about maintaining feature consistency. I think that the features should have similar gameplay if they have similar gameplay targets. Like the Prismarine pots and Nether pots should function identically because they are functionally reskins. But I'd say if you were to add Enderite and like the end was perfect, I guess I would implement it the exact same as Netherite, just probably with different effects on the material. Okay, let's go. Favorite Minecraft block. Ooh, I'm a big fan of the terracottas. Terracottas are really good. If you've seen TCC's cherry grove, I've used a lot of this, or the Cherry Grove Village. It's absolutely beautiful, and I just love the terracotta. And unglazed. Glazed terracotta is good as well. Why should these principles be followed? Why can't the game punish the player, and instead the player should be the cause of their own punishment? Why is it important to consider player expectations? It's important to make sure that the game they're playing stays Minecraft, because in the end, what they want to play is Minecraft. If you're punishing the player for sitting around for a long time, then effectively you're punishing players that just want to build or just want to make their redstone machines or their farms. So if there was a blood moon 4 days after you started building your base and you're still building and the blood moon happens, you're like, what have I done? I don't want to do combat right now. I want to keep building. So generally you just want to make sure that you're adapting to the many, many different play styles. And yes, risk should definitely be opt-in. Like, say the Quarry Remnant, you have to seek that out using the Reactive Seeker, or Bastion Remnants are also something you have to actively seek out for the danger, or Ancient Cities too. And then favorite TCC update to work on. Oh, I would probably say, I think last update, Embers of the Past, was really good because I got to create and rework dozens of new archaeology sites, and I really love the archaeology system because it creates a sort of unique story that the players can think about and dissect, and it gets a lot of fun lore tidbits. And I also got to create a fun new dinosaur mob, the Sprouter, which is the cousin to the Sniffer, and it's just so much fun to interact with archaeology. Let's see. What feature have I overhauled / created that I'd like to see Mojang's attempt on? I would love to see them rework the Woodland Mansion, because that feature has been in the game since I started playing 1.11, and I think it has a lot of potential, and it could definitely be reworked, and I would love to see their take on it, because I love my take, but Mojang always has something interesting and unique. Where do I get inspiration for new data pack features? Generally, I just see what Mojang's doing and then steal off their notes. I just look over their shoulder and be like, "Oh, you're doing something there. I should build off that." Like they did the whole archaeology system, and I'm like, "Okay, it's made with bricks. What if we made it with nether bricks this time?" And then that eventually evolved into, okay, prismarine shards are kind of like bricks because you can make prismarine bricks with them. So why not prismarine pottery? And a little leak here. Purpur is actually kind of like the bricks for Purpur bricks. So maybe you'll see Purpur pottery in the future. No promises though, because the end still sucks. On the topic of compatibility, what would the right way to remove a vanilla recipe to change the gameplay loop be? If you want to remove a vanilla recipe, it honestly depends on what vanilla recipe you want to remove, because some of you may know I removed the decorated pot recipe from vanilla because I re-added it using the pottery table. I think whatever you remove, you got to make sure that either it's like the fundamental base of your pack. Like, say if it was, I don't know, making terracotta better and you remove the terracotta recipe in favor of a terracotta table. Obviously, players are going to know immediately when they install this pack that, oh, I need to use the terracotta table. Otherwise, you should make it documented clearly in your documentation. Like, we have the compendium that tells you you can only decorate pots in the pottery table. And yes, you should use filters to remove those. How do I manage my old code?
Questioning.
Say what now?
Elivers?
Oh, sorry. No, you can go ahead.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I've been yapping for a while. How do I manage old code? Where is the balance between making new and fixing old? Well, we talked about that a little bit on... Let me pull up the slide real quick. Yeah, on this slide, so you can see our different ports right here. So the way we manage our old code is that we port to new Minecraft versions while we're developing on the old, per se, Minecraft versions. Like right now, we are porting to the winter drop at the same time that we're developing 1.5 and 1.42. So old code basically doesn't exist. I'm not sure how to explain it properly. We don't have like a legacy code base. We have current Minecraft version and the next Minecraft version. It's a rolling release. I mean, as in code said, it's...
Well, I think this might be referencing when you have a large code base, like how often do you rewrite something that worked previously using new techniques,
okay.
or do you, just sort of keep it there so that you can move faster and add new features? Like, how do you balance?
Balancing between optimizing old content and creating new content. Okay, so yeah, that makes a lot more sense as a question. I see now. So in order to balance optimization and creating new content, what I usually do is while I'm refactoring content for, say, the winter drop port or 1.21.2, which was, oh my God, it was a nightmare. Getting rid of all the custom model data was horrifying. But what we did is while I went through, I figured out what looked the worst and could benefit from adapting to the new system at the same time as being able to change it to the new system. So the pottery table, it had somewhat bad code for 1.21.2. So I rewrote some of it while I was adapting it to the new content. So every once in a while, I'll also do kind of a run through, but usually I don't have time. And our code base is pretty solid as of right now. So I don't feel the need to optimize heavily every single update. Let's see, what is my favorite to make? Not sure what that's referring to. I'm gonna assume that's favorite feature.
It might be related to the favorite update you did, which you sort of already answered.
Favorite update I did? Well, I'll do favorite part of that favorite update. That's a good question. I'd say the Sprouter. The Sprouters, I love him. He's an adorable little guy. Well, a big guy. And I just love the gameplay of being able to go to the cold ocean ruins and get Sprouter eggs, while the warm ocean ruins have sniffer eggs. Let's see, optimization. What's the biggest help I've gotten for making efficient data packs? I mean, this right here. Updating your code from data modifies and NBT access to new modern command types. NBT and slash data and at ease are your worst offenders. They will kill a pack because they are just absolutely horrible. What do you mean difference between the two?
I think they might be asking about the specific features between data modify and replace.
Oh,
I
they're
think
doing the same thing. It's just that data modify, the way MBT access works is that when you're data modifying something, first it has to pull the entire entity's data. Say if I wanted to edit a player that's holding a compendium, say the player is holding a compendium which is 130 pages. So the way it does it is you grab the player's data, you serialize it, which is turning it into a modifiable format for the game, and then it modifies that one bit and then sends it back. So obviously, since the player's holding a compendium, that's 130 pages worth of data. So it has to serialize all of that, and that takes up a lot of tick time. So what slash item does is it skips that serialization altogether and directly uses the abstracted version rather than going in and messing with the data. Generally, you want to stay as far away from data modify commands on entities or on blocks as much as you can. Obviously, there's going to be points where you physically can't, but if you can replace a data modify with a slash item or slash attribute, etc., then yes, you should. Let's see. How do you think Mojang could fix slash modernize X old slash existing system slash the enchanting system? So I think the enchanting system, I think they should do it similarly to how they did Caves and Cliffs, in that they don't invalidate the old content, but make the new version better. So what I'm talking about there is they kind of invalidated, well, sorry, not invalidated. That's exactly what I don't want to do. They added an alternative to iron farms by adding the iron veins, which, by the way, are excellent design because they allow players who are a little less hardcore and don't know how to make these iron farms, they allow them to get tons of iron at once by using Fortune 3 and getting an iron vein and just getting tons of that. So I think if they were to rework enchanting, I think they should keep most of the existing baselines like XP and Enderman Farm should still exist, but there should be better ways of obtaining said XP or lapis lazuli or whatnot, and just improve the existing gameplay, because we all know re-rolling enchantments sucks and trading with villagers kind of sucks, which is also part of the trade rebalance, which I am also a very big fan of. Let's see.
Yes.
You...
Sort of on the topic of purpur pots before, Whisper here asks, what is your opinion on end reworks slash updates? Are there any concepts you've liked regarding it? I'll just preface that by saying, and the end, it's a little hard to do stuff with that because there's not much there. Since we can't really add custom blocks that are used in large quantities because that would have performance concerns, there are not really that many ways you can overhaul the end without adding a bunch of blocks from the overworld, which would feel a little weird.
Yeah, if we were to overhaul the end, we would be going about it using structures made with endstone or purpur, which doesn't feel that great, but it's really the only way we can do it, which is why we're kind of avoiding adding purpur pots, because there's not really a lot of places to find them. Let's see, I'm going to start skipping some stuff. Oh, what feature in TCC strays the furthest away from vanilla, and why do you think it works? So I think the one that probably strays the furthest from vanilla, that's a great question. I think probably the Gobble Rift, which is a plant you find in the end that you feed it with meat, and you then wait for it to digest said meat, and it'll like puke up this goo in its mouth, and then you harvest the goo into a bottle. And then when you drink said juice, which is called Rift juice, you teleport back to the Gobble Rift. And the reason I think that one's a little weird is that it doesn't quite fit with anything vanilla wise, because it's kind of out of left field, but I think it fits sort of well because it's got that wacky vanilla feeling, like the sniffer or the shulker. It's a very weird feature, but it definitely has the same design principles. Let's see. How do you maintain? Have I integrated any knowledge from general game design knowledge or read a book about it? I have read a game design book. I've got it on my shelf here. Give me just a second. It is. Highly recommend this one. It is The Art of Game Design by Jesse Schell, second edition. It is Art of Game Design, a Book of Lenses. It is a very good book, and I highly recommend it. I haven't read it in a while, but definitely good, really good book. Let's see. How do you maintain conversion between updates? I don't. I rely on players using /loot to do it because I don't have time to write conversion packs for the hundreds and hundreds of items that we have, which we're looking to fix in the future because I think Flux was looking into making a modularized updating pack, but I simply don't have the time with creating all these massive updates. And then, is TCC written in vanilla MC function, or do I have any tools? Why or why not? I write everything in raw vanilla MC function, and I don't use any preprocessors or precompilers because I want my code to be readable to anyone who doesn't understand compilers. I want them to be able to open my code and immediately know what's going on. And it also allows you to understand what you're thinking about, and while you're typing, there's no chance of accidentally making an @e that's too big, because you know when you see an @e in tons and tons of rows, a precompiler might abstract that away and say, @e do this, repeat 10 times. But in MC function raw, you just have a line of full @e's, and I can see that, and I can be like, no, that doesn't look right. Let's see, what else? And tools I use, I have, the compendium is actually done with Python because I don't want to write every single page in the compendium. So we have a Python tool that just kind of makes every single compendium page and then also puts it onto our GitHub wiki. And that's really the only tool we have. Actually, another cool tool we have is, if you go to wiki.vg, there's a thing called the, I think it's SNBT converters, which allows you to convert a structure file into its raw stringified NBT, which is huge. It is amazing, and it allows you to find and replace entities and blocks within structures via your terminal or your VS Code without having to actually load the structure into a world and do that. And it also lets you do some cool stuff like add teams to entities inside structures, which I'm not sure if any of you know, that isn't possible. But the Mojang's jars actually allow you to do that perfectly, which I love it. Let's see, what else? I'm just checking through the questions RX has been giving me. Am I going to adopt Mojang's new drop system when it comes to TCC updates too? I think probably something similar, because I'm going to drop small amounts of content when they drop drops, because I enjoy making small features like the creaking connector or the sap link. But I think I'll still stick with major updates because I've got a big idea for next update, and I'm sure you guys will be looking forward to that.
Cool. I think we're getting towards the end of the Q&A. I'll take one last question before we wrap up this panel. Lots of questions. I've also caught a lot of general questions about optimization and stuff that I didn't put on the spreadsheet. I think during the fireside chats, there might be some opportunities for some more experienced data packers to talk about some optimization stuff, because it's definitely something that we could have more of a fireside styled conversation.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. If anyone wants to just ask me questions about optimization, I'd be glad to talk.
Yeah.
When are those? Do we have those scheduled on the Discord?
The firesides, yeah, they're on Friday.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. I think we can go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for joining in on Creeper's panel. I think there's a lot of exciting bits of information. For those who maybe joined halfway through, there was a bit of a quick snafu with the streams. So unfortunately, it's split up in two. There's like one of the panel and then another of the Q&A. So yeah, I will let you all go soon. Thanks everybody for joining. And my last thing is, if you have any more questions or any more, things you want to learn more about TCC or any of the other panels or booths that you visited today or yesterday, there is a Discord channel in the Summit category called Booths and Panels. And every single booth vendor and panels has created a space for you to talk more about those experiences. So do check that out and talk to all the people involved and enjoy the rest of Summit. We'll have Bookshelf coming up soon in 1 hour, I think. That's about right.
Yep. And I just want to add that the part of for those that are watching on YouTube when the network went out, Creeper and I will re-record that last like 5 minutes, and we'll put out a corrected version that just has the part that was missed.
Yeah, for sure. If anyone missed, we'll be sure to make it up. And
Okay.
if anyone has questions, just leave them in the Creepers Code channel. I'm gonna actually link that in chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you can actually click those. I don't think you can. Oh,
No.
Not
these
from
are-
Minecraft chat.
You can't.
oh, shame. But just ask me questions there, and feel free to ask me questions in the chat. And I hope you guys are ready for the next one, which is going to be the complete opposite of what I do, which is tons and tons of libraries and library integration, but it's very cool. And it may not be my style, but it might be yours. So find how you like to make data packs, whether it be Vanilla Plus or not, and have fun.
Thanks, everybody. We'll go ahead and close
Alright.
off the event. And I will
Yep.
see you in Summit and maybe at the next panel in about an hour. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye, y'all.